being here. You say this is the most significant moment in 2 years of phone hacking investigations, and it all centers on an email involving an ex-News of the World reporter. Explain.
Yes, the significance of this is the top team at News of the World and News International are fragmenting. And for the former lawyer to accuse James Murdoch of misleading Parliament is serious in itself. But if his account is accurate, and James Murdoch disputes it, I have to say, but if the lawyer's account is accurate, it shows that James Murdoch knew that there was other criminal wrongdoing in the company in 2008, and he failed to report it to the police. And he also settled a civil case with a crime victim for an astronomical sum of money that came with a confidentiality clause. So he could have been buying a crime victim's silence, which in this country is an illegal act. And that's why I've referred it to the police, so that they can get to the bottom of this.
Give us in very simple terms the nuts and bolts of what allegedly happened here. There was an email from one reporter to another about illegal hacking going on that Mr. Murdoch apparently knew about, or at least these other officers say he did know about, and he sat in front of you and said he did not know about it. Is that it in a nutshell?
Yeah, one of his journalists transcribed a voicemail message that had been illegally hacked. He sent it to another journalist. The victim of the hacking took a civil case and got the documentation through court disclosure. At that point, the lawyer and the editor of the paper go to Murdoch and say, we think we should settle this case. Here's an email showing that others were aware of hacking in the company. What do you want to do? And he signed off the case for an alleged £700,000, which is 10 times more than the victim could have expected to get in the civil courts in London. So it really is a huge amount of money.
So you think what? He was just buying silence? Is that what you think?
Well, that's the allegation. And the former editor of News of the World and the lawyer would know the significance of their statement when they made it yesterday. It really is a big issue here in London.
I want to
metropolitan police.
I want to play that statement, though, that you brought this up so we can see it clearly. I want to make sure that you have no mistake.
Okay.
Murdoch denied any knowledge of the email. Let's look at what he said when he talked to you earlier this week.
When you signed off the Taylor payment, did you see or were you made aware of the full Neville email, the transcript of the hacked voicemail message?
No, I was not aware of that at the time.
So he says very clearly there, no, I was not aware, and I want now to show also the statement you made reference to a moment ago that James Murdoch denies misleading Parliament by that. In a statement posted yesterday on the News Corp website, he said, quote, I stand behind my testimony to the Select Committee. So, look, how are you going to prove otherwise if ultimately he says, look, I was mistaken at the moment, even if you can prove it, I misspoke, I wasn't sure which email you were talking about. How can you possibly prove it?
Well, that's why I want the police to investigate. What we now know is either the former editor of the paper and the company lawyer are telling the truth, or James Murdoch is. Both of them cannot be right. And the point is, if the police establish that James Murdoch did know about the email and that the lawyer is right, it's a very, very serious situation. That's why I think it's urgent, and that's why I referred it to the head of the investigation earlier today.
What can happen to James Murdoch if the police find out that he did lie?
Well, if they found that he bought the silence of he knowingly bought the silence of a crime victim, and again, to repeat, he denies this and sticks by his statement, but if it becomes the case, then the crime would be perverting the course of justice, which is a very serious criminal offence in the UK.